From 2010 to 2016, I went through 6 years of some pretty toxic fitness and health phases, my toxic era, and I don't want you to repeat these mistakes. As a petite woman, they did not yield results and they actually made things worse for me. So I want to tell you what I did that I regret doing so that you can skip those eras in your life too. Now, these 3 phases that I'm gonna share I went through are specifically not good for petite women to do as a form of achieving a body recomposition, which was what I was trying to do, lose fat and gain muscle. So if you do wanna lose fat and gain muscle, I recommend you skip these next 3 phases that I'm about to share with you. Switching cameras, because I'm gonna go tell you guys about these toxic phases while I get a matcha. I'm bringing you with me. Was just filming with this camera, now I'm on this one, and I'm mobile, baby, so let's go. So the first toxic phase I went through with exercise was from 2012 to like 2016, so it was more like a 4-year toxic phase. It was the cardio years, the running years. I got into this phase of my life in college. Freshman year, I started running all the time, every morning or before fencing practice. I used to be a fencer. I would run 3 to 4 miles. It was just the only thing I knew. I think that's why. I didn't know how to lift weights. I didn't really know how to do any of that, and I thought it would make me bulky, you know, all of the things that you don't know when you're getting started. And so I was like, I'll just go run because that's how you get skinny, right? That's what I thought it would do for me. I thought it would bring me toned, lean muscles. Now, don't get me wrong, cardio is great for your heart health. It's good cardiovascularly. Obviously, it's good for a lot of things, but it's not the greatest tool for fat loss for petite women. And the reason why that is because it does not build lean body mass. It does not build tone or muscle, which you need as a shorter woman in order to increase your metabolism. The number of calories that you burn just sitting around, your fat burning potential is all locked into your resting metabolism, like what your body's doing when you're not working out. And when you do tons and tons of cardio and no strength training like I did, you end up losing muscle mass because you're overtraining, and you end up increasing your hunger like crazy to the point where you're just eating back all of the calories that you burned. It is incredibly easy to eat back and undo all of the work that you did on your run within 5 minutes. So you could go on an hour-long run and just ruin that within 5 minutes of eating. Now, if you only have an hour to exercise every day as a petite woman, you do want to do strength training instead of cardio. If you want to do cardio, you can. Just make sure it's not getting in the way of your strength training so that you can really prioritize building muscle, because you're going to get the most bang for your buck building lean muscle mass as a petite, because it's going to help you burn fat when you're not working out. Whereas cardio is only going to burn calories while you're working out. It's not going to do anything to your metabolism or help you when you're not at the gym. And we only spend, like, I don't know what the number is, but a very small amount of time actually working out. So we need to be putting our efforts into stuff that's going to have a benefit for us around the clock, not just when we're at the gym, right? You can think about cardio as like borrowing your results, whereas strength training is like investing in your results. Because when you do cardio, so you start running an hour a day, you get a certain result, maybe you see some initial like results, you end up needing to do more and more and more cardio in order to see more results. The opposite is true with lifting weights. You start off with lifting weights, you build a little bit of muscle mass, and your results actually get better and better with time as you increase your metabolism, as you build lean body mass, and you increase the number of calories you're burning at rest. So you want to invest in your life and your health, right? You don't want to be stuck on the hamster wheel doing like quick fixes your whole life. And cardio is just one of those quick fixes that will end up in a more of a metabolic rut than if you just invest from the upfront and really put in the time to build that muscle. On top of that, this is just some science. A 2020 meta-analysis suggested that resistance training increases metabolism more than cardio, which can make weight loss maintenance easier because the body burns more calories at rest. So there you go, it's in the science. There you have it. Now, this was a toxic trait for me because I was using cardio as a form of trying to have a body recomp, and it does not work that way for petite women. It was also just a miserable time. Like, I would get up every morning. Once I graduated college, I lived in Harlem my first year in New York City, and I would run around the track near my house for miles in the morning. It ended up, actually when I was abroad, I got a stress fracture in my foot because I was overtrained too much, and I was hungry all the time. I mean, it was just a toxic time because I felt like my worth was tied to how much exercise I was doing and needed to do. And on top of that, it was like such a mind, like, F because I wasn't even getting the results I wanted, but I still felt beholden to doing all those hours of cardio, even though it wasn't working. And that's the worst part, is you get stuck in this trap of like, well, I need to do this because if I stop, it's gonna get way worse, but I'm not where I wanna go yet. So the only option is to add more cardio, but at a certain point, you can't do that anymore. And that was my horrible phase with cardio. So if you wanna get off that hamster wheel, skip doing cardio as the only form of exercise, start strength training, make strength training the main thing, cardio is the sidekick. If you're short, that is going to be the most bang for your buck. Well, this is depressing. They are closed. I don't know if you can see that. I found this place, OMG Squee. OMG Squee. Okay, we got the matcha. Gonna do a little taste test. It looks very pretty. Okay, pretty good. So the second phase that I wish to God I skipped was my restrictive, aka dieting phase. Along with cardio, I tried really restrictive dieting. I did those online calorie calculators where you like put in your weight and your age and your height. If you've been paying attention, they always ask for your height because they give you a lower number. And it would always tell me eat less than 1,200 calories because you're short, basically. And I thought, you know what, well, I'm smaller than everyone else, so I should just, or I'm shorter rather, I should just try to eat like a child, try to eat like a bird and see how that goes. Now, this kind of caloric restriction, along with the cardio, literally creates the skinny fat look. That's what happened to me. I had a skinny fat body after, just many months, I'd say, yo-yoing between trying to restrict and then binge eating. And the reason why it creates a skinny fat phenomenon is because you're restricting your calories and you're not building or maintaining any muscle mass. So as you're going through this diet, you're losing muscle and you're holding onto fat as a form of energy. And that's why if you've ever done a diet as a shorter woman, you will end up stepping on the scale, maybe you lost a few pounds, but your body composition does not look how you want it to. Your clothes don't fit better, you still have a pooch, you're like, what happened? I went on this diet and I was really adherent and I still have all this fat that I wanted to get rid of. So essentially the skinny fat look happens when you drastically cut your calories and at the same time, you aren't adding any muscle building exercises in order to burn the fat and build muscle. Because muscle is fat burning, so you absolutely have to have it in order to achieve your fat loss goals. I wish I skipped this phase, and instead what I wish I did was look at what I was eating and try to make better choices. So essentially eat better, not less. What you eat determines how much you get to eat, and that means that if you're eating processed foods and you try to eat less of them, but you're still eating processed foods, you're not gonna be full, you're not gonna be satiated, and you're gonna go eat more processed foods and then end up overeating. If you can eat more whole foods, stick to the produce section, eat animal products. If you eat that, eat lots of vegetables and fruits and lean sources of protein, it's going to keep you full. You get to eat higher volume, higher amounts of these foods. You get more bang for your buck, and it also helps you have a faster metabolism. So that's what I wish I did instead of doing these crash diets and these diets in general. So just remember, cardio plus restriction for petite women leads to skinny fat, and we do not want that. Okay, made it back home, but it's so nice outside. So I'm hanging out on my porch, which has no furniture. Now, my third and final toxic phase for the purpose of this video was my HIIT phase, okay? High intensity interval training. On my final stage, this was my last stop on the toxic train before I actually got into lifting weights. I did an entire year of Kayla Itsina's Sweat Beachbody Guide, whatever, BBG, before it was an app, back in the day, the original one. I actually made an entire video years ago about what that experience was like. You can check that out here. But in essence, high intensity interval training, the studies show that no more than 90 minutes, and that's already a lot, can really be beneficial in a whole week. And unfortunately, the Sweat app, I'm not sure today, but back then, this high intensity work was not helpful. It was a lot of impact on my joints, burpees and jumping jacks and mountain climbers. And it just kept me stuck in this high stress state, high cortisol levels. I was always exhausted. My workouts were not fun, right? It was like I was doing them but dreading them, because who wants to do burpees every day. Like, that's not sustainable, nor is it fun. I managed to last a year doing those HIIT workouts, and I mean, brutal that I did a year and saw zero, big fat, zero change in my body composition. And I wish I had looked at the science sooner, but you can't really get great results doing HIIT every single day. I recommend petite women do it twice a week maximum. High intensity interval training, it breaks down muscle tissue. There's not enough exercises that incorporate weights in those HIIT workouts I was doing to build muscle. Is mostly just cardio, basically on steroids, like a lot of high intensity cardio. And if you enjoy it, more power to you, but I recommend only doing that maximum 1 to 2 times per week so that you can get the full benefits of it and not burn yourself out. So now that we've gone through those 3 toxic phases, you're probably wondering where and what phase I'm in now. One of the most amazing things about your health and your fitness journey is that you're always gonna be evolving. You will never get to a place where you're like, yeah, I'm done. And maybe you'll reach your goals, but then you enter a maintenance phase, right? Where you're just maintaining what you've achieved, and that's a phase in itself. So the beautiful part is that you just keep going, and that's why it needs to be enjoyable for you. You need to enjoy the journey, as cheesy as it sounds. The phase I'm in now is kind of different than any phase I've been in before with my relationship with exercise and nutrition. There was a time in my life where I was lifting hundreds of pounds and I was really strong and breaking PRs and was probably at my peak physical strength level. But today I am just maintaining. I'm not lifting as heavy as I used to. I'm not pushing my body through intense workouts. I'm lifting 5 days a week. I'm watching what I eat, making sure I eat in a way that makes my body feel good. I'm not tracking my calories or my macros anymore. I would say I'm in a phase where I'm just enjoying life. I'm so happy with my body composition. I'm happy and I accept how I look and how I feel. And I'm more interested in just enjoying it now. Just enjoying life, enjoying movement, and not putting a ton of pressure on myself to hit a certain weight on the scale or lift a certain number of weights on my squat or look a certain way. I'm really just enjoying kind of existing and maintaining where I'm at and living a healthy lifestyle. And I'm so glad that everything I went to has led me here, because now I get to help you find what works best for you as a petite and something you enjoy and feels healthy for you. So I feel very grateful for the phase I'm in now. I'm curious what phase you're in currently with your health or fitness journey, whether you're just getting started or you're many years in. Let me know in the comments what phase you're in. Maybe you're in one of the toxic phases I was in. Hopefully you can skip it now that you've learned more about it. And I hope this video helped you kind of leapfrog some bad years so that you can accelerate your results as a petite and really achieve the goals that you've set out for yourself. If this video helped you do that in the slightest bit, please give it a like, subscribe for more content tailored to petite women. Join the community, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.